It's late. It's like 6 p.m. in the Pacific, which makes it bedtime in the Eastern time zone, and it makes it, I don't know what time that would be in the Central time, maybe like snack. Anyways, yeah, I'm geeking out. Like, I got a lot of really cool things going on, and I want to also just point out, like, I apologize for the lighting. I know that it's kind of dark, and I'm working on that. The big thing is I'm here to give you something that's actually really passion. It's a passion of mine. I'm obsessed with words. I love language, and more importantly, though, I want you to know that words and language in their conscious use have a really deep conscious and unconscious meaning. And what that really means, to shave off some of the vocabulary, is that what we hear in communication is not always as simple as what we hear. The unconscious mind can process it very differently. And when I say that, it might, create more questions, and that's good. As I really hone in on how I'm going to deliver content and bring value to you in your life, I'll make sure I structure things out in a way that we can, build on things no matter where you come into watching my videos. So basically today I'm going to go through with unpacking the word, today I'm going to unpack the word humble. And I'm going to give you some insights and, some real case scenario of how powerful the conscious use of language really is, as well as give you some examples of words and language patterns and different sequences. And so what that means is, like, we can say the same words in a different sequence and they make an absolutely different meaning. And so I want to just kind of touch on that. And then I wanted you all to know, and this is to inspire anybody. I see somebody's watching. Thank you. I'm not really sure where it's coming from. But anyways, I appreciate you being here. So to inspire you to do your own videos, to inspire you to create for yourself, for your business, for yourself, really, I want you to know that much of what I do is improv. There are notes. I have notes. I have mental notes. I have topics I'm extremely passionate about. Just with me for just a second. I'm going to actually pull up the word humble on this board. Now, this is white, and so it might not show up. I'm working on a solution to broadcast this live when I'm writing on this. But what we're going to do is we're going to go to the Chrome app here, and we're going to pull up etymology of a word. So etymology of a word is what tracks a word's meaning throughout history and how that word has also transformed. So follow me here as I show you how humble is a word that is absolutely overused, it's misused, it's not something that the unconscious mind truly wants to act out. And I say this because when we say the word humble, when we teach kids to be humble, we are more than likely doing it out of context. And context is a really big aspect of all communication. Language in one context or words in one context means something totally different in another. And that's some of the basic language stuff that, I would want to believe you've already learned, but I'll definitely unpack that stuff deeper. But I want to get into humble, because I think this is a word that, for me, this word has taken away from so much value of my life, the things that I have to offer the world. I have been basically like recovering as an adult for a long time from some of the ways that this word and this upbringing in my family had really done to the way I see myself. And so this is important. So this is about self-concept, self-confidence, self-image, and words play a huge role in that, especially because the way we're communicated with while we're growing up in different phases of our lives really shape the way that we interact with and see the world. And so anyways, let's get into this word. So let me just let me see here. I just want to make sure because I can kind of see it on this screen over here. So, ooh, is it mirroring it too? Please don't be mirroring it. I don't think that's a good idea. Oh, I don't think I can change that until I'll figure this out. If I messed it up in the replay, I'll redo it. So basically, the word humble here. Hang on, let me learn to hit this button here. So basically, the word humble is a person, and this was late 13th century, a person of submissive, respectful, lowly and kind manner, modest, not self-asserting. So just so far, just the basic touch of submissive and lowly in manner, those are not words that you want to teach your children. Those are not words that you yourself should want to know and practice. You don't want to practice being submissive. I absolutely want to share this from the way that this word is not a positive or a negative word. You can't charge the word, in my opinion. Rather, the way that we use the word in context, submissive tends to be the opposite of assertive. And that's not really it. And it tends to be, so this coming deeper into this is the lowly in manner. And as we really start to see how important these words are, we'll start to look around at the way that words are used to market to us, ways that words are used to communicate to us that are not necessarily for our best interest. And so as I go to the not self-asserting, this is a problem, and this is a big problem, because one of the things that we have right now, and I'm not going to get into certain aspects of it, is the challenge that we have people that are struggling from not being very self-asserting. We have people struggling from not being self-asserting, and then a certain situation has arose where now people have more confidence and more willingness to assert not themselves, rather enforce rules. And these are people that have never really had the energy and the power within themselves to enforce or assert anything. And so we'll look at this here deeper on the fact that lowly and humble are very, like, they're very close in also looking at the word placater, which is a word that I'll pick up on another day, and I'll use some different visuals. But basically, the next one is lowly in kind. Lowly in kind, state, condition, or amount. And now this is one that'll knock your socks off. Of low birth rank. See, the way we use humble right now, we attempt to say things like, be humble because you never forget where you came from. Be humble because you don't know how you're being interpreted. You don't know how you're being perceived. You want to not be arrogant. You want to not be cocky. Yet on one side, anything to do with humble from this definition is actually detracting value from your life. But, and that's a negation, the way we use the word humble in context, it has a total different meaning. And either way, they're conflicting. And why that's a problem is because at a conscious level, we tend to think in context, what we're told. At an unconscious level, this is what we've been conditioned to for a really long time. And this is where we get into the problem of the word submissive. This is where we get into the problem of the word not self-asserting. Because one of the biggest problems that we have right now is there are not a lot of leaders. Look around you, and thank you for watching. I see somebody's tuned in here for a little bit. There's just not a lot of leaders. And this challenge of not having a lot of leaders comes from people not being self-asserting. See, the thing is, a lot of people want to do something different than what everybody else is doing. The challenge is with doing something different will always come with a high level of scrutiny. If you're not willing to be scrutinized, if I'm not willing to let somebody go through my video and talk shit, then I'm not ever going to be able to put myself out there. And that comes down to not being self-asserting. And where else is this showing up in people's lives? In their family, in their career, with the way they raise their kids, or maybe, maybe it's all those aspects in one. But so as I come down though, I want to really go into, hang on a second, I gotta cancel that. I want to go into this. So render oneself humble, to be bent, kneel, or bow. And so just a few seconds ago, I was telling you about the word placater. So to bow or to bend would be to be humble. Where in the word placater, which I'll hit on another day, it shows that shrinking of the shoulders, that slouching down, the very meek energy projection. Okay, and I didn't pick the word meek without real intention. So here's another one. Lower, let me go back to the writing pencil here. Lower than someone in dignity. And so, let me cancel this here. Where did it go? I think it's down here. Come on, where did it go? Yeah, there it goes. So, and this is a definition from somewhere, not from somewhere, hang on. It's still from this site. So, and then just to give you a quick, oh, that doesn't zoom in on, that's only on the page. But this is etymology.com. But basically over here, they're using humble, marked by meekness or modesty, not arrogant or prideful. Okay, so meekness is not any way, shape, or form holding oneself to a high standard and then receiving what comes from that. Being a high achiever, being a disciplined, focused, creative executor could never, ever, ever say that was marked by meekness or modesty. And this is where the real problem is. This is where the real problem is. The real problem is the opposite of humble is arrogant. It's cocky. And a word that I don't even know how to spell unless I go look it up is that narcissist. So literally, like we go from if we're not, so it's if this, if not this, sorry, if not humble, let me clean this up. I'm all excited and shit. I'm over here playing like a kid in my element. Love to teach, love to show people what I mean, I've been able to navigate my life because I understood language. Like I come from absolute poverty. I come from a lot of low education. And if it wasn't for my obsession with words as a child, as a young adult, my willingness to keep using them and playing with them, I would not be here in front of you today. And so coming back to this is, if we go to humble, it's cocky, arrogant, narcissist. We'll just guess that that's the spelling. It's if not this, then, and that's not even the right, but so then it's this. So it's basically the divide is if we're not over here on the meek side, if we're not over here on doing things in this certain manner, then the person is cocky, arrogant, or narcissistic. And this is a problem because we have a generation, multi-generations at this point, of losers getting trophies. Now, I wasn't that good at sports. Wasn't very good at sports. Now, for whatever reason, I got this mean box jump. Like let me see if I can get, like I got some hops, right? But at the end of the day, when I was a kid playing sports and I lost, I didn't get a fucking trophy. Okay? And so what I'm getting at is this whole marked meekness and modesty thing it's not healthy because we teach people that if they're not humble, then they're cocky, arrogant, or narcissistic. And that's destructive. That is destructive. We're taking a kid like me at one point who's very outspoken, would ask questions, knows how to put facts in a certain order, and speak to them very fluently. And that kid was told, shut up, I'm telling you about real life story, shut up, be quiet, be humble, or you're cocky, you're arrogant, or even in this new world, it's now narcissistic. And so this is important because if we keep unpacking the language, humble is low, it's inferior, it's unskilled, it's of low birth rank. This is not something we want to keep conditioning ourselves to believe because people have to be able to own their excellence, own their gifts. And this is something that I think we are in probably the real pandemic. The real pandemic are so many highly educated people, so many people capable of bringing so much value to the world, but they're lost in bullshit language and words. Be humble. You can't own certain things. And how does somebody present themselves in such a way that they're not perceived to be that? I'll tell you what. I'll give you a quick snippet. It starts with within. If that person is not in any way, shape, or form aware of the difference between being outspoken and being absolutely like over the top, maybe, what would that word that we just had up there, being arrogant? We really want to understand as a group, as a society, that not everybody is anywhere near the same. And even when we find people stand out from that quote unquote sameness, we cannot just hit them with be humble. We can't just expect it to be okay to teach this kind of stuff any further. And for those of you that have children, for those of you that have nieces and nephews, I challenge you to really start looking at how much of their behavior shifts and changes when we encourage them to just be them, opposed to when we try to calm them from being them. And I'm bringing this up from my own experience of being really high energy, knowing that not everybody can take my energy. That's okay. That's okay. At the end of the day, though, what we want to do is we want to make sure that we're bringing enough value to these kids, to these young adults, to the future. Because if we're not teaching them, like, look, you're going to be different. There's a chance that people won't like you for being you, and that's okay. That's something real. I'm absolutely passionate about these words. I'm passionate about the way people choose to spend their time on educating themselves about things, because the reality is language has been used to control us. Language has been used to manipulate us. Language has been used to play us like puzzle pieces on a board, and that is not okay. And it comes down to people are they're so distracted. They're so distracted. So anyways, I'm revved up. Some of this stuff is made a lot of sense. Some of it's been out of sequence, and I'm gonna get better at it for you, I promise, because the reality is this: we need more people that can think for themselves. And the route to thinking for yourself is understanding language patterns, understanding the different sequences of words. So I promised you that I would give you some examples of like some words, language patterns, and different things in different sequences. So the one thing that would probably come to my mind that would fit this this application would be, I recall a language pattern of a recruiting firm, excuse me, an organization that's involved in affiliate marketing, which at scale is known to people to be multi-level marketing. And so in this group, the language pattern that they would use while recruiting was something along the lines of, I met, oh, hey, I appreciate somebody commenting here. I can't see who it is, but let me read this out loud quick. Exactly. I was told not to be so direct recently and to humble myself. Being direct is not rude with that scenario. Yeah, exactly. If I was a man, yep. Exactly. So hang on, let me just calm down. I gotta zoom in on the screen 1 second. So I was told not to be I was told the person's yeah. So just kind of basing that, skimming that, the reality is when you yourself know that speaking your truth has this feeling inside. This is where I go intuitive too, and it's not just the word. You know you're being true to yourself by saying it. You'll feel it like you're honoring your own boundaries. That's really where this is really important, because just reading that, it sounds like when you're being direct, you're showing yourself more honor, like you're honoring yourself and your boundaries. Just going off that little bit. It's so important that we understand that honoring ourselves throughout this process is why we want to know communication. It's why we want to know language, because oftentimes we know what we feel and we struggle to find the words to put those into the right context to convey that feeling. So again, Yeah, for sure. Hey, I appreciate you chiming in, and I definitely look forward to doing more of this where I can interact with people watching. But yeah, you're absolutely right. Context, I get it. But your scenario is also very minimally descriptive, but I could totally appreciate what you're saying. Yeah, I like it. I think personally, there was this piece right here on. I think this piece right here on not being self-asserting, and the moment somebody does become self-asserting in any way, it can be taken out of context. People misconstrue that. So I think that's huge. Well, see, I don't know what you're saying about your face and your name, because I'm using a restreaming app, so I can stream to like 3 different platforms, and all it shows me is a LinkedIn user. And so anyways, so I'm gonna wrap this video up because I'll be here all night. This is my jam. I love language. I'm absolutely obsessed with it. And I really think that as we start to open the world back up, we're going to see that in-person training has a much higher value, and we'll also be able to, to appreciate language a lot more when we start to look back on these recent events in history, because words were placed in different sequences and things, and so there was a different play. So I wanted to get back to quickly before I end this, that language pattern that I was talking about with the affiliate marketing, also known as multi-level marketing group. What the trainers had taught the individuals who were out recruiting, a language pattern that's something that I can detect like instantly, and it'll help understand like how powerful the use of language is, because when it's used in the proper sequence, it elicits different responses. And so in this language pattern, the potential the person involved in the group would approach a stranger, and they would give them a general comment like, "Nice shirt, where'd you get that?" And they would build up the basic rapport and dialogue, and then it would go into, "Oh, what do you do?" And then what do you do turns into, obviously, the elicited response would be to give them what you do, and then to ask that other person who's asking you what they do. And then they'll say something along the lines of, "Well, I'm in the online marketing business, and I was fortunate to meet a couple." My favorite. I was fortunate to meet a couple that retired early, and they've taken me under their wing, and they're teaching me these same things so I can do the same. Now, what that does is that leaves somebody with questions, because that sounds like a lot was said, yet it's still very ambiguous. And so I'll leave it there, because I'll go into that, and that's not why I'm doing this video. But what I wanted to do is leave you with the importance of how language and sequence and the language patterns, when they play out, what it creates. So anyways, hey, I appreciate you watching. Again, I pulled this up on etymology, it's ETYMONLINE.com. So it's Edo Mom Online or something. So anyways, have a great day. Thanks for participating. Thanks for, stopping by, watching. I look forward to delivering amazing content with different structures and sequences, more in the training capacity, because I want to help you get better at communication. I want to help you get better at doing the self-asserting thing, and basically anything and everything that's needed to help you get closer to your goals and your dreams. I appreciate you following me. Thanks again. Have an amazing evening and enjoy your week, and Happy New Year. Can you believe it? It's been the first month of a new year. And LinkedIn user, thank you for stopping by and communicating. Appreciate you. Have a great day, everybody. Let me get this going here. End stream.